Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Memes of the Week. If you want to catch latest Memes of the Week videos, then subscribe to me over at MGTOWTV. Link is in the description. Plus you'll get content from people like Turd Flinging Monkey and Terrence Pop, just to name a few on the platform as well. Also, before I get on with the memes, first a word from today's sponsor, Profit Specialist Group. Why let some woman use her points to fly her dog to Fiji first class? If you're a business owner, stop paying for your customers' reward points, bonus air miles, and cash back. Robert Rivera is a fellow MGTOW that helps businesses that take credit card payments get rid of those fees you pay to the bank. If you're accepting credit cards, he can save your company $6,000 or more annually on the fees. Watch the tutorial video or visit the Cash is King CC website. These sponsor links are in the description. Now on with the memes. This first one compares women that are covered with tattoos to buildings covered in graffiti. They both look terrible, are easy to get into, and usually contain hazardous materials. Also, with a building you can cover it with new graffiti, but with a woman it's permanent. Although I find a woman covered in a cohesive full body tattoo to be enticing to me for some reason. I guess much the way that certain buildings have amazing graffiti pieces on them that are beautiful. Unfortunately, most women either can't afford amazing tattoo artists, or they pick out the worst tattoo designs. Up next is a woman telling men to stop trying to become influencers, because the world needs more tradesmen. A guy named Anthony responds by saying, can females please stop being lonely fans models because the world needs more mothers and not 304s. She probably doesn't like that the men are taking attention away from her online, and she sees it as belonging to her and her fellow women. Number 3, we have Essie, one of the 3 women in this tattoo picture, complaining to Twitter saying that she's been bullied because she has tattoos, that the comments against her are disgusting. If she's so secure in her choice, then does anyone really need to be thrown in the oven? Most tattoos these days look like they're bumper stickers on a Nissan Altima. Next, we have a woman that says she's tired of being looked at as a set of holes. Of course, she doesn't have a shirt on, which pretty much just promotes this idea further. Her hips seem kind of narrow to me. Are you sure this isn't a dude? Most men are also sick and tired of being looked at as a wallet and free meal, yet you don't see us embarrassing ourselves like this now, do you? Maybe she needs to bring something else to the table besides holes. Number 5, we have a guy saying he's no longer an incel and that he finally has a girlfriend. But someone needs to tell him that his sister and her cousin doesn't count, nor do working girls. She genuinely needs to be interested in him. But I hope this story is real and he gets hurt or mistreated, because then he'll go his own way in the end. Next up, we have a man that put a cage on his head to try and stop snorting meth. His wife has the key and she only opens it up for meals. Why does this make me think of that scene from The Wicker Man, when they put the bee cage on Nicolas Cage's head? But it wasn't meth. This is actually done so he could stop smoking, and it ended up working. I wonder if a man could put it on his wife so she could stop suckling other man's swing-schwangs. Number 7, Al Pacino just had a child at the age of 83. The next headline will probably read Al Pacino to pay child support at the age of 85, if he's not dead by then. No one seems to find it strange that Pacino and De Niro are having kids in their geriatric years. Goes to show how with money and status a man never hits the wall with women. Number 8, we have a woman that used to get aroused and fondle her folds while little Johnny was sluckling away. She almost looks sad that it gave her the best cooming moments. Notice how she said son and not daughter. I don't know what's weirder, that she feels this way or that she decided to share the information with everyone on the internet. I guess she wasn't thinking about the shame and embarrassment. What happens when a kid gets older and someone tells him about this? I'm guessing there's going to be a big therapy bill. Moving on, we have a TikToker that scammed donors out of $37,000. Saying that she had cancer and she's now pleaded guilty and could face 10 years in prison. The operative word here is could. She'll probably be out in only 2 or 3 because everyone knows that women get reduced sentences when compared to men. Someone said she won't get more than 2 months because she's just too damn pretty. Number 10, kids in Canada have had enough with Pride Month. Watch this.
Students tearing through Pride posters and dancing on Pride flags.
It's rude and they're throwing water everywhere, they're looking at us, they're judging us. Shouldn't be like that. You're out for a reason.
Rambunctious teens then turned violent, throwing Pride bracelets and other random objects on the road and at people.
Some kid threw something at my head, and then in response to that, everyone started cheering.
Number 11, we have a girl suing a hospital for removing her mammaries at the age of 13. Kids aren't allowed to drink, smoke, and vote until they turn at least 18 or 21. Yet they're allowed to mutilate their bodies at 13. I hope we see a lot more of this in coming years because kids don't understand long-term consequences. Up next, I decided to fix the masculinized female gaming hero from the last video. Funny enough, turd-flinging monkey got banned for way less by giving Captain Marvel a smile. Brie Larson herself was pissed off at that. He was one of the so-called trolls demanding that Captain Marvel smile. I just think this character should have had her makeup and hair done. Number 13 is a woman complaining that she gave an attractive man her number at the gym and she watched him throw it in the trash as he left. Of course he did. Just holding that number is dangerous in this day and age, when men are harassed at the gym because of supposedly looking at women. Up next, we have a picture from the Soul Plane where a mom shares travel hacks to keep her toddlers quiet on flights. Let's see what the bill will be for this and if she gets banned from airlines. You see that her kid is learning how to do tags early in life. Maybe he'll grow up to become a famous graffiti artist or do tattoos on thoughts. Number 15, we have a guy complaining that on his wedding night, his wife didn't want to boink him. They fell in love online and barely met before getting married. She says she doesn't like sex. My guess is she does, but she just doesn't like it with him. This one is heading for annulment, no doubt. He should just tell her he doesn't like it either, and he doesn't have any money either too. And surprise, she'll be slurping him away like he's sushi. Moving on, we have a woman taking out her incel coworker on a date. And he hasn't been on one or in a relationship for 6 years now. He says that he doesn't think he's attractive. I'm sure that most of us agree with that statement. She's probably just prepping him up to give her a white baby in case she doesn't find Ray Ray. Then again, being sweet and helpful might just mean she's putting him in the friend zone. You decide which one it is. Number 17, we have a bunch of women dressing in traditional clothing in the modern day and age, playing the part of the female chameleon. If most women are dressing like hoochie mamas, then the few that actually dress like traditional conservative women, even if they're feminists in disguise, will be more likely to snaggle a masculine simp that thinks that they're the real thing. Expect way more stuff like this in the future. Up next, check out this wino. All that's missing is her tribe of cats. I know this is clearly staged, but I love the look on the guy's face in the background. You know, in real life, after she drank most of the bottle, he'd be trying to pick her up because he gives me an incel vibe. She'd probably regret it in the morning and he'd have an allegation thrown his way. I wish there was a way to buy boxed wine and kitty litter stock ETFs to invest in. Number 19, Toronto does it again. This time, instead of opening a communist coffee shop that was pay as much as you can or want that failed, this time they're opening up a restaurant where all the chefs are living with HIV. If you eat here, then you're virtue signaling. This was posted for Pride Month, and I wonder why no one is worried about getting tainted blood in their borscht. Number 20, we have Penny, a woman that's 74 and she has a 24-year-old boyfriend that's awful with money. You're going to see a lot more of this in the next 10 years with all the single childless women in their 50s, 60s, and 70s on Apple's AR, VR headsets. Your 60-year-old sugar mama, or sugar nana in this case, will actually look 20 when you put a filter on the goggles. This is the future for relationships. This next one is an illustration of what hypergamy is. Every time I post one of these types of illustrations, it gets tens of thousands of views. But it's worse than you think because these days 9 out of the 10 women are aiming at the top 2 men. It's probably going to get a lot worse as women put on their AR glasses and see chads dancing around virtually in their living rooms. Moving on, we have an article asking why there's a huge gap in salaries between Samuel L. Jackson and Amelia Clark. Jackson isn't a post-wall wayman. He's a black man that's a phenomenal actor with great range. Just look at Pulp Fiction and you'll know how he became so big. After 35 or 40, most actresses are no longer bankable and their salaries collapse. They have a limited shelf life. Number 23, we have Henry Cavill, saying that he's scared to date post-Me Too world because of all the madness and because he might get called a rapist. This is an old one, but a good one. Well, when women can revoke consent years from now, or like in the case of Brett Kavanaugh, make up allegations entirely out of thin air with no proof, then you know why he would basically avoid women. Up next is another case proving that makeup is voodoo. She's a goblin on the left and an aspiring goddess on the right. Men fall in love with the makeup mask and not the muff magician behind it. One girl I started dating after a wedding, she only wore makeup for that event, but I never saw her with it on ever again. Fake-up is a legalized scam and like selling a newly painted used car to cover the rust underneath. Number 25 and this week's last one is Italy's TradCon Prime Minister, Meloni. And she's a boss because instead of Pride Month, she canceled it and made it Family Pride Month for trad families instead. But it's too late because it won't help their collapsing birth rates. This is also like putting a band-aid over a bottom surgery. It's still going to fester and smell underneath as you try to prevent it from closing. Funny enough, this woman also had a child out of wedlock. Hypocrite much. So that's it for another Memes of the Week. Remember, I make these for free, so donate at the PayPal and Subscribe Star links below for more content like this. Also, once again, check out MGTOWTV for content that you can't get anywhere else. You're definitely going to enjoy it. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.